I'm Old Man Luedecke, and here I am at beautiful Harbour Tone Productions in Shelburne, Nova Scotia. Shelburne, you know, there's a quarter I haven't heard from in a while, and so I thought, well, cool, sitcom in Shelburne would be pretty awesome. Well, recording studios are neat places because people, they're so intensive. Like the work that people do in them tends to be like so focused for such a long period of time that you get kind of crazy and giddy anyway. So the idea of different characters coming in and out of it is pretty natural. Like I don't think I've ever worked in a recording studio without some ridiculous degree of humor that's sort of blossomed. You know, that probably can't be made into TV, but you can. You know. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just I mean, look at this place. There's no light. You know, we're just trapped in this box, and you do the same thing again and again and again until you get it right. And not only that, but you're paying for it, or somebody's paying for it. And so there's, you know, there's pressure to make great art. There's pressure just to get the thing right. And you know, people change when they're doing that kind of process. They work through their ears, you know, again and again and again, and then they just start saying crazy stuff after a while. I mean, you could, you know, just the number of things that, you know, get recorded that are totally unsuitable for anybody to hear would be great from a studio, you know. You know, just the little bits of swearing before somebody, you know, as somebody blows a take or whatever, you know, is pretty great. So, I mean, that's a world that I love, and I think would be great if there was a TV show about that. Well, I mean, I just think like if you get the certain musical types, you know, of, I mean, the idea of having real musicians come in makes it that much easier because you can get all the weird freaks from different walks of life, different approaches and stuff, and you know, the different types of people that make music and the way that they approach these things, and you know, the stress they bring to certain situations and stuff like that is like ripe for comedy, I would say, you know. So right, like there's this whole other language that evolves. I think in any situation where people are together for intensive periods of time for work under pressure, they get, you know, things get crazy and carried away, you know. The song you picked, you know, this Palace is Golden, it just really comes out of left field because it's a song that I haven't played much on account of the fact that it really deals with a pretty heartbreaking subject of not being able to have kids. I wrote it after a protracted period of time when my wife and I were unable to have kids, and that's not true anymore. But I feel like it's a pretty tragic song, you know, and so the idea of that being the backdrop for a comedy show is pretty wild to me because I like that juxtaposition of because I have some novelty songs and I have some light spirited songs and stuff, but that one is really way on the heavy end of what I do, you know. It's a song about wondering if the water in the well has made you impotent, you know, basically. There's humor in my stage show. I try to bring that around with me wherever I go, you know, so I mean that's what singer-songwriters kind of do anyhow, is sing sad songs and tell jokes, you know. It's kind of our gig. I think if you'd picked one of my happier, funner songs, I'd probably be like, oh, well, that's cool. Maybe more people will like it. But I think this one they might not like, but they might cry a little bit and laugh, you know. I think that'd be all right. And then I think other musicians would dig it because we're all narcissists. At some level, as mild and as humble as one can be, you know, like even if humility is a part of your persona, you know, we all think that what we're doing is pretty good. As an impact on my career, well, you know, the nicest thing about having a career in the arts is the opportunity to do things outside of your usual comfort zone, you know, and outside of you know, just the sheer opportunity to do it. I think just from the standpoint of being someone who procrastinates by nature, I think the action of doing something outside of my norm would be just awesome in and of itself, right? Like, you know. Well, I might, you know, be in the shower thinking about a TV show for myself, but the fact that you're going to do it is pretty cool to me, you know, and the action of being able to be involved in something like that seemed pretty great, and especially that you're doing it from Shelburne, Nova Scotia, you know, that's a hugely attractive thing, right?
Why is that attractive?
Well, I love Shelburne for one thing. I rode my bike here, my bike exploded. I actually associate Shelburne with the movies. I feel like the downtown is so beautiful partly because of the movies, right? And then, I've only been here, the first gig I ever played here was this surreal experience of we arrived and Moby Dick was being filmed in town, and everybody was buzzing with Moby Dick, a production of Moby Dick that has who had William Hurt and Donald Sutherland in it. And my wife and I had ridden our bikes here from Chester via Truro and Yarmouth and that whole bit. We'd been on the road, and we got here, and we were supposed to stay at a bed and breakfast, and Donald Sutherland was in our room, so we had to sleep. And there were no other rooms in town, so we had to sleep in the backyard of another bed and breakfast. And then my bike exploded. I couldn't even leave. I had to hitchhike. I had to ask the crowd at the show for a ride because my bike just blew up. It has made Shelburne the land of myth for me. It's just far enough away that I can't get here all that often. So, yeah, it's a beautiful place that I think would show well as it does, in the movies and TV,
Yeah.
Oh, the palace is golden and the garden is green. Our own food grows in the yard, but we ain't got no baby to share it with, and this is proving hard. Something in the water made a mess out of me, but we ain't got no baby. Something in the well made a mess out of me, but we ain't got no child. Oh, we try and do it right almost every night, every trick and every vitamin we're told. And golden afternoons were like loving spoons. Just tell me where the damn things are sold. Something in the water's made a mess out of me, but we ain't got no baby. Something in the well made a mess out of me, but we ain't got no child. Oh, we've been to the doctors with their cold, cold hands. Best not to lay those best laid plans. Nothing seems wrong but the hell inside of emptiness and vanished pride. But all the way back home we'll roam, we'll hide our tear-stained eyes. Well, may all the strollers roll, but empty yet is ours. But I'll make a lullaby so woeful sad, I make the angels weep, the angels that guard our unborn child will cry themselves to sleep. And then with good faith and with glowing heart, I'll cure your sorrow deep, as I take my song to that cloudy crib, and with our baby creep. Then all the way back home we'll go, we'll hide our joyful eyes. Well, may all the strollers roll, but happiest is ours. Oh, the palace is golden and the garden is green. Our own food grows in the yard, but we ain't got no baby to share it with, and this is proving hard.
Beautiful.
Bravo.
Cool.